Hi, my name is Max, and this is Poketalk Game Reviews. Alright, let's get this review started. I'll be doing Top Gun, the Nintendo Entertainment System. This review will be a little bit hard because it is an older game. Now for just a little bit of history real quick. Top Gun was released in 1987 for the Nintendo Entertainment System and for the personal computer. For the gameplay, it is you're piloting an F-14 Tomcat fighter. The player, as Top Gun's main character, Maverick, has to complete 4 missions, given a choice of missiles and starting with the training mission. The player is sent after an enemy aircraft carrier, an enemy base, and finally must destroy the enemy space shuttle. The game has 2 endings. If the player has lost, achieve a minimum score of 50,000 points. And still shall be shown as the player being presented the Top Gun plaque awarded to the Iceman in the film. If the player completed all 4 missions successfully and land on the aircraft character, a scene will be shown of F-14 taxiing the character and a player waiting to the LSO crew. Now, I'll show you some gameplay this time, YouTube. Let's get going. A good classic 8-bit screen again. We all love those, don't we? Let's start doing the gameplay. So we push the start key. See, we are taking off. Nice 8-bit style. Okay, mission 1. Mission 1 is the training mission, you guys. Like I said, there are 4 missions, not including the training one, and here are your selective weapons. So I'm just gonna go select this one for you guys. If I start 4 missions, and you do take off. This is actually a very hard game. Once you take off, it's actually very hard to land. It's actually very hard to aim. As you can see, you can barely twist or steer, as you could say. Let's go up. Here, this is how much you turn. There's not a lot of turn to shoot and aim the pilots. Or the planes, you can't go down. It is pretty hard to aim. Aimer is very small, as you can see, and it's actually kind of crooked. Planes are very fast against you, and you can barely turn to aim. That is a big complaint, sort of, you could say. Another bad thing is, you can't pause in this game. Look, I'm trying to pause. Pressing start and select on the NES controller, and it will not work. Look at this ridiculousness. That is a bad thing about this game. Very bad. Now for the hardest part of the game, it seems like anyone who played this game. The landing sequence. You must steer the plane directly and correctly. The exact way to get there. How do I speed down? It won't let you speed down. This game is pretty bad, I guess you could say, and it is pretty good. It all depends on your definition. Now, I'm going to show you this clip right here. This is the landing part. I have actually never landed this game personally. It is pretty hard. As you can tell, you just go up, you listen what it says, and it doesn't give you the right directions half the time. It doesn't exactly tell you what to do. Like, it's saying up, and I'm already up as far as I could go. And this is what most people who play the game, obviously. And this is another screen most players see 1/2 the time. Okay, so I gave you some gameplay, I gave you some history on this game, and now it's time for the final review and the outro. I give this game a 5 out of 10. This game is pretty bad. I'm being generous on the game considering that it is an old one. We are taking the older games for granted now. Since now we have Wii U games, we're coming soon, Wii games, the 3DS games. So I'm being generous on the game. Just because it's older. And complaints, that landing stuff is terrible. I wish you can go more pilotish, but it is an older game, that's the only reason I'm giving this. So, last week I did a review on Pokemon Black and White 2. Link for that will be in the description down below. I did not use anyone else's footage for this. I only used my own footage of my own game. And Next week, I'll see you next week when I do Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire for Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week, YouTubers.